That PPP loan came back to bite me in the ass, y'all. These folks want me to pay them so much money and to think that I thought I was actually doing something right. You know how you be out here and you be trying to figure out, what your next move gonna be and how you gonna make it happen. And then when something like that comes along, it kind of puts you in a trance like, damn, this is actually something that I can actually get. Now keep in mind, I do have a business, and I guess the person who did my paperwork kind of screwed up. And man, I'm put in a position where I either have to pay a lot of money or I could be going away for a while.
What's up, family? Welcome back to the channel, where we break down the news that really matters. Today, we're diving deep into the ongoing legal waves surrounding PPP loan and unemployment fraud, and how it's taking people straight to prison. You don't want to miss this one. So before we get into it, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Let's get into it.
It is so shocking to me that people are shocked that there is an actual warrant list for the ones who did the PPP loan. I don't understand why everyone is so shocked and scared and frightened and crying and terrified when it's literally called a PPP loan. It was a loan. So it wasn't free money. You were going to eventually have to pay it back if you didn't have the proper paperwork for it to be forgiven. That was the whole point of it. It was supposed to be a loan, and if you had the right paperwork, some of that loan could have been forgiven. It wasn't free money. So I'm just so shocked. And it's the fact that most of the people who did the PPP thing, they went to Miami. They were going out. They were going on vacation. They were buying new cars, new bags. Like, they were splurging with a government loan. Why are you guys so surprised?
We're going to talk about this. The PPP loan was for small business owners that needed to have income during the time COVID was going on and businesses were closed. Take out money for their businesses that were not established. These were fake, fraudulent businesses, and they received the money. Did not have proper documentation for the business. They were not able to provide that the business was real. They were not able to provide proof that they had the X amount of employees that they said to have the money given to them, because the government was just trying to make sure that businesses stayed open during the pandemic. We're also collecting the PPP loan money for their fraudulent business, also applied for unemployment because they were laid off of their job. So this is why people are being affected for the PPP loan and for unemployment, because you did one double dip of the PPP loan and you also did a double dip of being on unemployment when you, one, did not have a business, and then two, you said that you received income from this business, but you did not need it when you were receiving your unemployment if you supposedly had a business. So you received PPP and you received unemployment. Theoretically, you shouldn't receive anything for PPP because you had a fraudulent business, and then you should not have received unemployment because you actually did work. When they ask to look at your bank information, or they request your bank information and they see that you have direct deposits from unemployment as well as your employer, and then you are also received the PPP loan, baby, proof is in the statement.
At the end of the day, I don't have to look over my shoulder because of PPP loans and that I took out illegally. Okay. And if you've done that and you haven't been arrested yet, I don't even care whether you get arrested or not. It's just the simple fact that you got to look over your shoulder. And people have been arrested off of that PPP loan stuff already. Okay. Nobody is jealous because the FBI or the IRS or any of these government entities are looking into me. Okay. Now, there are reports out there that there's a warrant list. Some people are saying it's fake. Personally, I don't have to worry about it. Like, I don't have to worry. Whether it's real or not, it doesn't matter to me. Every time something like this is going to come up, you people who took PPP loans illegally are going to have to look over your shoulders. That's the point. Okay? We can look at this and laugh. Okay? Some people are saying it's unemployment fraud. I ain't even really looked into the story. The point is that you will always have to look over your shoulder when you did something like this. The Chase glitch, the PPP loans are nothing more than getting desperate individuals locked up. That's what it is. Okay? They could have secured that to make sure that your business has been around for at least 5 years, everything like that, because there's paperwork involved with that. There's a connection, you know what I mean, to your accounts, all that stuff. They could have done a better job. They didn't, because they wanted to get desperate people locked up. And some of y'all fell for it and went to jail. Some of y'all fell for it and you're looking over your shoulder the whole time. Every time you file your taxes, they're going to be looking at you. And they can audit your accounts at any point throughout the year. Okay? It doesn't matter that they forgave it. It does not matter. All right? So that's just my point on it. Y'all have a great day.
During the COVID-19 pandemic, the government rolled out a series of relief packages to help businesses and individuals survive financially. One of the most well-known was the Paycheck Protection Program, PPP, which gave small businesses forgivable loans to help cover payroll and essential expenses. At the same time, unemployment benefits were expanded, giving weekly federal boosts and pandemic unemployment assistance, PUA, to freelancers, gig workers, and others who normally wouldn't qualify. Here's the key. These programs were designed to work fast, real fast. And that meant less scrutiny up front. Billions were pushed out with limited verification, creating the perfect storm for fraud.
My coworker got fired for getting the PPP loan. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because I saw a girl's video saying that she just had her case with the feds regarding getting the PPP loan, like lying on the application, and she got sentenced to 9.5 years. 9.5 years. And I saw other people in the comments saying that they're going through their case. I saw somebody else say that they got sentenced for wire fraud. And these people are not playing. They are not playing, and banks are assisting. They are assisting in the process. As somebody who works in banking, who's worked in multiple different banks, the banks have helped the IRS. But let me tell y'all what happened with my coworker. So this is my coworker that turned into a friend. So I had already left the company by the time that she got fired. But ultimately what happened was, this is 2022. The list came out of everybody who had got the PPP loan. She obviously was on that list. And she ended up in HR. Clearly the bank was looking at the list. Not my current job, y'all. Again, this is a company that I left. So don't call them people again, please. But she ended up in a meeting with HR. They asked her, like, oh, you were on this list, you have a business. And basically, there was a date that your business had to be established to qualify for the PPP loan. And a lot of people created LLCs after that date. And that's how they know if your application was fraudulent. And so they told her, like, I don't think that you qualified for this PPP loan based on when you established your business or whatever. But she didn't admit to anything. And her business was selling handmade jewelry, right? So the reason why they were able to fire her is because if you've ever worked for a bank, a financial institution, a brokerage, you have to disclose all outside business activities. It's regulatory. You have to sign off that you will disclose anything, any second job, any second source of income. If you're a part of the board of directors for any type of company, nonprofit, sometimes even volunteer work, you have to disclose it so that the bank can make sure it's not a conflict of interest. So basically they fired her because they said that her not disclosing that she had a business was violating company policy, because she should have told them. And I'm sure y'all are going to say, well, she should have told them that, she stopped the business when she started working. I guess whenever she established it, she had already started working there. So like the days just didn't line up. But yeah, they fired her and said that it was because she didn't disclose that she had a business. But if she had disclosed that she had a business, it wouldn't have been a conflict of interest for her to sell handmade jewelry. They fired her because of that PPP loan. And that was just their excuse. So be careful, y'all. They are coming.
That PPP loan came back to bite me in the ass, y'all. These folks want me to pay them so much money, and to think that I thought I was actually doing something right. You know how you be out here and you be trying to figure out, what your next move gonna be and how you gonna make it happen. And then when something like that comes along, it kind of puts you in a trance, like, damn, this is actually something that I can actually get. Now keep in mind, I do have a business, and I guess the person who did my paperwork kind of screwed up. And man, I'm put in a position where I either have to pay a lot of money or I could be going away for a while. And I never wanted that to be the case, Man, that PPP loan was something, man. It was like a breakthrough for you, when you were struggling. and not knowing the outcome. So anybody who think that they got away with that shit, you didn't get away, man. We make terrible decisions, man, when the storm come. So when the sun come back out.
I heard people getting hemmed up on them PPP loans. You knew that was coming. What I don't get is how certain people, black people, are complaining, saying that those loans was put out there so that they can trap black people. Why would you take the loan if you know you didn't have a business? It was for people with businesses affected by COVID. You starting an LLC so that you can collect a couple $1,000s to go buy shoes and chains and start a record label. That's not the same. I mean, you had to have seen it. The Lenox Mall in Atlanta was packed. They was damn near out of stock. And then that's something that now you know that a lot of that Louis Vuitton and all that stuff, all these people were buying with their PPP loans, is made in China. And now they're about to go to jail for it. Look here, this is that victimhood again. Don't apply for loans that you're not eligible for. Therefore, you won't commit fraud and go to jail for it. Does that make sense?
So you're telling me back in 2020, people took out their PPP loans, and now 4 years later, they're getting arrested for fraud. I know you guys saw that video of that girl, and they approached her to her house, telling her she's getting arrested because she did not take the PPP loan out on, like, it was fraud. And then she lied about being unemployed and this and that. A bunch of people did it, claiming all for their businesses, and now they're getting caught. Like, girl, and it was so sad. I mean, you know, she had to tell her mom was calming her down in that one video with that girl, and she was crying, and she was like still working. I guess she had to tell her boss, and this is all on video too. So her boss will see her kind of lying and what's going on too. So that's a whole other situation. But they're coming. The government's coming, getting your PPP loans and figuring out what was right, what was wrong, and if the people used it appropriately. So they coming. Slowly, but they coming. I don't know. It's just crazy. It really is crazy what the government will do years and years later. Couldn't be me.
In 2020, I actually signed up for over 15 bogus small business loans. And since I'm already going to jail, it's time to tell my side of the story. Now, this scam started out like any other good scam. An error from the government, an opportunity for me. There was a form that you could fill out online, and it would ask you 3 questions. It would ask you, do you own a small business? You would check yes. Then it would ask you if you want $10,000. You check yes. And then it would say, do you promise you own a small business? And then you check yes again, and boom, $10,000. Now, this process was like taking candy from a baby. So once I got the $10,000, I did the right thing, and I told everyone I knew about. Now, at first, people were skeptical. They said, Drake, what do you mean you just answered 3 questions and then $10,000 appears in your account? But I assured them it was legit. So next thing you know, I was signing everybody up. I was taking their information, signing up for this loan, and then I was giving them $50 out of the $10,000. And until things went wrong, like really, really, really wrong, everybody was happy. And to be honest, no problems really occurred until they realized that, hey, maybe this Drake guy isn't a trapdoor salesman. Now, in my defense and everyone else's defense who had taken this opportunity, what else were we supposed to do? Big Brother had came down, locked us down, and told us we couldn't make any money. We were just doing what we had to do. I'm just glad I got to come on here and tell my side of the story. It's been real, and I will see you in 3 to 6 years.
People began exploiting the system in multiple ways. PPP loan fraud, fake businesses, inflated payrolls, or completely fabricated employee lists were submitted just to get large sums of free money. Some even used stolen identities to file multiple loan applications. Unemployment fraud. Scammers filed false unemployment claims using the names of people who were still working, incarcerated, or even deceased. Others just lied about losing income or being self-employed. But now, it's all catching up to them. The DOJ, IRS, SBA, and even local task forces are actively investigating, and people are getting indicted left and right. Cases are now moving quickly through federal court. Some are getting 3 to 10 years, especially if the fraud involved large amounts or identity theft. There are even situations where people flex the stolen funds online, buying luxury cars, homes, or jewelry, which became direct evidence in court. Section 3. What's happening now, and what this means going forward. The government is not playing anymore. There's a nationwide crackdown, and a lot of people who thought they got away with it are now getting surprise knocks at the door. In 2024 and 2025, we're seeing more arrests, more convictions, and more time handed down. Many thought these were victimless crimes, but the courts are treating it like major white-collar fraud. And if you use fake documents, shell companies, or involved others in a scheme, that's conspiracy and wire fraud, serious federal charges. Moving forward, the DOJ says they're using AI tools and new audit tech to track these cases, and they've got up to 10 years to come after you from the time of the offense. So if you think it's over, it's not. Closing message. Listen, if you or someone you know was involved in this stuff, it's time to get serious about legal help. The consequences are real, and they're unfolding right now. Don't play with federal money, and don't think the system forgot. Let us know what you think in the comments. Have you seen this happening in your city? Are you surprised at how widespread this fraud was? Asterisk. And as always, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. We've got more eye-opening breakdowns coming your way. Stay safe, stay smart, and we'll see you in the next one.